Okay, so we're in Douglas County, Colorado with Tommy Barrella. He's promoted to Barrella in 2020, or promoted to captain in 2024. And we'll look at this little back patting ceremony and promotions and look at our stripes. He must be important. And then we'll get to the story. Also, I would like to note that 93% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. I say it at the end, but I understand not everybody makes it to the end of these videos, so I'm going to say it at the beginning, and if I have to, I'll say it in the middle. You're at your computer, you got your phone in your hand, all you got to do is click the button and I'll stop the harassment. But here we are with this, Douglas County Sheriff's Office. Congratulations are in order. Yesterday, Sheriff Darren Weekly swore in our newest promoted captain and lieutenant, Captain Tommy Barrella and Lieutenant Adam Mormon. Now, Adam got nothing to do with this. He's just in this little ceremony. Captain Barrella, who will oversee support services, has been with the office since 1998 and has served in every division, including the one he is now in charge of. Before coming to the DCSO family, it's the Blue Line family, he spent 3.5 years with the North Glen Police Department. He also served in the Marine Corps, serving with the military police for 4 years. Lieutenant Mormon, who will be a watch commander on patrol, has been with the office since 2008 and has spent the majority of his career in investigations and patrol. Before joining the family, he spent 10 years with the Marine Corps and National Guard. Good luck to you both. Your hard work and dedication have brought you to this pivotal moment in your career. We wish you continued success in the next step of your leadership journey. Hashtag honor service valor. Alrighty, just remember, you've been so loyal and so good and shit. So let's just get an idea. Thomas Francis Barrella, 2022 was the last pay that it showed for him. Worked as a lieutenant for Douglas County, Colorado in 2022, had a reported pay of $70 an hour. Now, lieutenant, captain, 2024. So it's not showing that yet. I'm not sure why. Anyway, $70 an hour. Now, $70 an hour, that's just base pay. Also, just do $70 an hour if they work normal, like 40 hour a week. Think about that, times 52 is what, 145,000? Now, that don't include everything. That don't include the per diems. That don't include the phones and the extras and the uniforms going to be clean. That don't count the cars and the gas that they get for that. Castle Rock, Colorado. He's white, male, 2022. Hire date, 1998. Lieutenant, as far back as this one will go. The information may include, where available, pay, salary, bonuses, benefits, retirement contributions, pensions, and other financial data. County payroll, $157,070.41. This one makes. So, let's see, Mr. Thomas Francis Barrella, while we're here. Now, I have this queued up, but you know how that works. Douglas County Sheriff's captain retired after investigation into him dating a female subordinate. Details of Tommy Barrella's departure are now noted in Colorado's database of law enforcement officers. Yes, that's post peace officer standard and training. They're supposed to be the standard for the standard and training. They're supposed to be the standards that are supposed to be met. And when some shit goes down, it's supposed to be reported to post. So post can mark that in your jacket so everybody else knows. But they're not really feeling all that. So I'm going to try to go to reader mode, and then we'll come back to this video if it will cooperate. Douglas County Sheriff's captain retired after investigation into him dating a female subordinate. Details of Tommy Barella's departure are now noted in Colorado's database of law enforcement officers. Douglas County, Colorado. A Douglas County Sheriff's captain retired last month after learning he would be fired in the wake of a romantic relationship with a female deputy, the news has learned. The relationship and his dealings with another deputy led to a complaint in December and an internal investigation that ended with the determination that Tommy Barrella had violated 6 separate department policies, including harassment issues in the workplace. It was just last September that Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly promoted Barrella to the rank of captain, a move made despite multiple sustained complaints against him between 2018 and 2021. So it's not like it was some news to them. It's not like they didn't know. It's not like they just found. They knew. They always know. They hide shit. They don't want you to know shit. And then eventually people have had enough. Wickler did not respond to an interview request Monday from the news. Barrella could not be reached for comment. Of course not. And that comment will be no comment. Documents obtained by the news showed that Barrella first got into trouble in 2018 and was found to have violated 3 department policies: conformance to law, relationships with subordinates, and off-duty alcohol consumption. Records show administrators issued a letter of counseling. Go get some counseling, Tommy. It'll be okay. We'll let it go this time. See, that's what happens. We'll get some counseling. We'll sweep it under the rug and nobody will be the wiser. And here we are. In 2019, another investigation ended with the conclusion that Barrella violated 4 department policies: workplace violence and harassment, relationships with subordinates, and on and off-duty conduct and confidentiality. His discipline included an 8-day suspension, a letter of reprimand, and an order to undergo remedial training. More training. This is the more training that the bootlickers holler about. Please shut the fuck up. They get all the training in the world. When they fuck up, they'll send them back to remedial training to make you think they're doing something, and they're not. 8-day suspension. That was suspension with pay. He makes $150, and that was just at the last one, $157,000 a year as a lieutenant. So he's probably making $168,000, maybe $170,000 a year with all his per diems as a damn captain. You think he gives a shit if he's on an 8-day suspension? Then in 2021, administrators found that Barrella was guilty of misusing the database operated by the National Crime Information Center and Colorado Crime Information Center. He was told to undergo supervisor coaching. So the suspension didn't work. The remedial training didn't work. Letter of counseling didn't work. So we're going to do some coaching. This is exactly my point. Why you can't get rid of them. Available records shed little light on any of the incidents in these cases. The most recent complaints about his relationship with a female deputy led to both internal and criminal investigations. No criminal charges were fired, but the Colorado Bureau of Investigation's report of the case, which was heavily redacted, of course, because you can't know shit, that's the transparency, described the situation this way: personal and romantic relationships that involved into workplace conduct. The internal investigation resulted in the conclusion that Barrella was guilty of violating every policy listed in the original complaint: conformance of law, use of communications equipment, on and off duty conduct, exercising discretion, harassment issues in the workplace, and confidentiality. No discretion, he's in law enforcement. Nobody's surprised. On January 29th, Barrella retired, citing mixed emotions in a letter to Weekly. Yes, he retired because he knew he was being investigated. On Monday, the fact he retired in lieu of termination was added to a statewide database operated by the Peace Officer Standard and Training Post Board, the organization that licensed law enforcement officers in Colorado. And when they do nothing about it, he'll be on his next law enforcement job, probably making $100,000 a year. That was the result of a 3-year-old law aimed to hold bad cops accountable. See where I'm going with that? Accountable. There's no accountability. There's hardly 99.999% of the time there is zero accountability. He retired in lieu of being terminated. He retired and they'll be like, well, we don't have jurisdiction over him. So guess what, taxpayers? He's going to draw that pension. Thank you. Go get another job. They're going to need some more money. We have had issues in the state before where an officer could be a bad actor in one department and then shop and find some other place to get hired. Exactly. Every time you turn around, they are somewhere else and they are somebody else's problem, said State Rep Chad Clifford, Democrat, Arapahoe County, that might not have followed them and gone are those days in Colorado. That might not have followed them and gone are those days in Colorado. Clifford is backing legislation that would make it more likely that a problem officer's misdeeds are listed in the post database. That's the whole point of the post. Peace Officer Standard and Training. Standards. It's all supposed to be there, but they decided, you know what? We'll set the standards for the training, but when you fuck up, we're just going to kind of look the other way. That's where we're at. We hold policing at the highest level of trust in our government. He said, put your feet up. This shit's getting deep. I don't care what level of policing they do. We expect a police officer to go and perform their duties perfectly 100% of the time, day in and day out, without fail, for a entire law enforcement career. And we also expect him to do that on video. Even so, public accountability makes it critical that problem officers are publicly identified, he said. His bill is aimed at closing loopholes that have allowed some officers to escape being listed in the post database. Some to escape being listed. Most are not listed. This is a way that we make sure that the people that are working in this profession remain there, and that we have the ability to administratively make sure that they don't stop. This is a way that we make sure that the people that are working in this profession remain there, and that we have the ability to administratively make sure if they don't, should they not be able to keep the public's trust, Clifford said. Anyway, that was about a fucking mouthful. Let's go here and see, because I have it queued up, so it's not going to be there. It should be sitting right here. Maybe there'll be an ad. Or maybe it'll take forever.
Hey,
yes, of course there'll be an ad.
Are you Terrell Davis?
I'm not editing that shit out either.
And Hall of Famer?
Yeah, that's me. But tell me about your high interest checking.
Yes, we have high interest checking, we have cashback checking, we have home loans, we have auto loans.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Shut up.
Back in 2020, Douglas County Sheriff's Lieutenant Tommy Barrella soaked up the spotlight for getting what every cop dreams of.
I reread him his rights.
A confession.
And we began taping the interview and asking him questions.
A confession in a 40-year-old cold case. Now Barella's out of work after retiring in January with mixed emotions. There was no mention in his letter of the internal and criminal investigations into him having dated a female deputy in the department. A situation described this way: personal and romantic relationships that evolved into workplace misconduct. In January, an internal investigation found he violated 6 separate department policies, including harassment issues in the workplace. Sheriff's administrators disciplined Barrella 3 times before that, according to records obtained by 9 News Investigates. In 2018, for relationships with subordinates and off-duty alcohol consumption. 2019, for workplace violence and harassment and relationships with subordinates. 2021, for misuse of the national and state crime databases. None of that slowed down his career, but a 3-year-old state law made his decision to retire in lieu of being fired last month public. It's now on the Peace Officers Standards and Training database.
That's absolutely something that should be reported to the Post Board without fail 100% of the time.
State Representative Chad Clifford is backing legislation aimed at getting more problem officers added to the database.
We have had issues in the state before where an officer could be a bad actor in one department and then shop and find some other place and get hired, and that might not have followed them, and gone are those days in Colorado.
Despite being disciplined 3 times between 2018 and 2021, Douglas County Sheriff Darren Weekly promoted Barrella to captain last September. While he was found to have violated multiple department policies, the criminal investigation did not result in any charges. We were unable today to reach Barrella for a comment. Live in the newsroom, Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
Thank you, Kevin. Of course it didn't result in anything. It never does. March 3rd, 2025. There is zero accountability for them. Don't care what you say. No accountability. We saw. They knew what he did, and they just kept looking the other way. So that's where we're at with this one. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, 93% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to their channel. I'm going to keep harassing you. You got your phone in your hand. You're at your computer. All you got to do is click the button. I'll stop the harassment. Let them know what you think, and I'm out.